Hey guys, it's Jack. This is the last episode of the revision review episodes. Today I'm doing Barlow Forever Love, the intro of his song. The song is in the description if you'd like to take a listen to it for yourself, but after watching the video it should sound something like this. Now let's get into how we're going to do it. So the first part we're going to learn is on the right hand. The part that we're going to be doing is this. So for this we start on G. I've highlighted all the notes we need to use. We start on G, we go on G flat and then D. I've written these here just so you can have a visualization of what we do. So we go from G, G flat, D. It's good to try and do that for muscle memory. So it goes da da da, and then you do A. So you have A here, and you have G flat again. So the same one, but an octave down, which is that. So you have da da da. Then you have A, and then G flat, and then after here we move one tone on the thumb and one semitone on the ring finger. So we go to B and then G. So you go da da da. So we'll go through this again. So we have G, G flat, D. We have A and G flat. Then we have B and G. And we just have one D. Then we repeat it again. So after a lot of practice, it should sound a little bit fast at this tempo. Next we have the left hand. This is sort of the bass line that we have, not a bass line, but the sort of low pitch that we have to have the pauses in between these, to make sure there's still sound. So the first one you do, it goes G, D, A, G, D, G. You play this G after you've played this D, so you go. Then once you do this A, you go, then go, and then you go G, D, G. This will take some practice because you need to have the memory of the right hand and left hand. So remember, when you do these three notes here, as soon as you hit that D, you hit this G, and you go D, A, and then after you've done the A, you then go A and then G flat, then D, then B and G, and then that one D, and then you go. This first bit is quite important because it gives off that introduction of the entire song with this piano. So after a lot of practice it should sound something like this, the first part. Once you follow the steps for the first part, we now move on to the second part. This second part is what I'll play and then we'll learn it together. Now this bit, as you probably saw before, instead of going G, D, A and G, D, G, we now go E, B, G. But we only do that twice, so we go G, B, G, G, B, G. Again, the same on the right hand, it's entirely the same except for one part. Usually you do it, and you go this, like this, and then you press that D. But instead of pressing that D this time, we go to G and E, and do that, so it will sound something like this. And then obviously you do the same bit right here, and then we just press B and D. That's all you need to do. Again, this is all muscle memory. You need to remember to go from E to B to G. I would typically use your ring finger for E, then your index finger for B, and then G, so you can kind of pivot on that B in case your hand isn't long enough. So E, B, G, and then you do it. So all together for the second part, it should sound something like this. And obviously that's taken in mind you do this again twice. So once you've done that, we now move on to the third part. So now we're on to the second to last part of the song. This part is more on the left hand because it's more of a little instrumental for the lower part of the song. So last time we finished off with this part, doing the new part with the G and E, and then we finish on the B, D. Just like over here, when you hit that D, you're going to want to hit a specific note here. So you go B, D, and when you hit D, you're going to want to hit C. I use my index finger here. So I use this. So I go C, G with my index finger, E with my thumb, G, E. It's also a little repeating bit here. So it goes C, G, E, G, E. Just like all of the bit before with the G, D, A or the E, B, G, you're going to want to have a good muscle memory because it's quite difficult for this. As you're basically just going from here to here, it's not the easiest thing in the world. So you go C, G, E, G, E. And once you have learned that muscle memory and you can do it fast, the type of tempo you'd want to do it at is about this. Obviously you can use on your piano or keyboard, you can write these notes just to help you, because for example you don't actually use any Fs in the entire song, or at least in this part anyway. So you go from the C, G, E, G, E. Remembering when you do the G, D, you're going to want to hit that D at the same time of the C. So you go, and all that together, including the first and second part, should sound a little something like this. I'll be going slow so you guys can follow along. There's still one last part, which is probably the most important part, because this next part is going to give off that intro or the opening for the lyrics in the song. So let's get into that. Now, onto the finale part of the song. This is the part that leads onto the lyrics for this Gary Barlow, the singer, to do his stuff. This is where we've just finished doing the... Now, I'm just going to go from here and just show you what we'd be doing, and then we'll do the final bit. So as you can see, after doing the C, G, E, G, E, I did the A and G flat to the same bit that we'd done before. With the A, I use my thumb, and G flat, I use my ring finger. So once we do I then do this, and then we go back to the left hand, going in the pattern of D, G, D. So we go. So we do that straight after we've done here. So it goes. Obviously, it sounds not right now because I haven't done the whole bit, but this is these are the small steps that we're doing. So just remember, once you've done this, we do this bit, then D, G, D. Once we've done the D, G, D, we then do D and G together. So we go D and G flats. So we sort of do that in a pattern. Obviously, if you want to use two hands, it will be... And that's again after you've done the last bit, which was the D, 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 G, D. So we'll go from the C, and we'll just go slowly and we'll see what bits we've done. Now this last part is very important in the way you play it. It's pretty simple. You go from G, so you go from G to D, and then you just go G, A, B. So it will sound like this. And you play it twice. And then just a single D at the end. Now I'm just going to quickly go through it 2 times. One time being a little bit slow, and the second time being at the speed you would ideally like to play it at. So the slower version first. It's good to practice it slowly because I know I've said it about 16.5 times, but muscle memory is so important towards this because you do so many different things with different hands. Obviously, the only time you play something at the same time is on this D and G, then the D and E, and the C and D. That's the only time you play something at the same time. So guys, this is just going to be me playing at the normal tempo now of how the song goes. Before I was playing it a little slower, just so you guys can carry on and go at the same time with me. So here it is. That was the Gary Barlow introduction song for the piano. Thank you for watching, and I'll be getting my pizza. Thank you for watching, and bye.